Well, I could tell you, but this is a man who needs no introduction, spawning in the bottom right. We'll give him one anyway. It's the Red Zerg Liquid TLO.
And his opponent in the top left-hand corner, the Protoss with all the Australian support anyone could ever want. It is the blue tossy fellow, Probe. In the chat, it's yup or yup, I don't know, year of Probe.
Year of Probe, hashtagging. All the Australians behind him. The might of Australia rallies behind the blue Probe. And,
it's the might of Germany in one family, though, behind TLO. I feel like it's pretty strong. Any of the big ones.
This is Germany versus Australia, very clearly. Yeah. Very clearly. In this particular chat, we've got the Australians running strong, but I'm sure in Leipzig there are tons and tons of German fans rooting hard for TLO right now. Going for the gold base very early here.
Hatch first. This is interesting. I guess it's hatch gas.
Gonna get scouted.
Pool, hatch pool. Interesting. So far, is he gonna go for a quick third hatch? Because he's going for a quick third hatch. TLO being incredibly greedy. I wonder if he's underestimating.
Is this the double
Probe?
gold? Oh, he's going for the double gold. Probe is going to scout this with one of his probes. Oh, juked! TLO is going back. Gonna go ahead. There and back again. A gold-based tail by Bilbo TLO. And he's going to come over here, take an extractor trick, and things are looking quite nice. Cybernetics core coming down. Both players sort of getting in the groove of things, but TLO getting the better side of the build orders here, getting away with some greed. Not much Probe can do to punish it here.
As we've mentioned before, generally from Protosses, you're either two-gating right off the bat or Nexus firsting, not going the gate kind of safe into the Nexus. So really for Probe, I think the main way he can punish these builds is with an Oracle, which is very common in ZVP. Stargate is incredibly common in ZVP at the moment, and man, TLO keeps extractor tricking that base of Probe. He's not going to let Probe take that second gas, which is a huge detriment to the overall economy of Probe, but we'll see how he macros out of that into the mid-game against a very greedy TLO. Man, it's going to be hard to stop three hatch before pool. Not even three hatch.
He's just non-stop extractor tricking. I've never seen this before. And this is the kind of things that we expect to see from Dr. Dario. It's just fantastic play, and I don't think he'll be able to do this. Ooh, Adept's just going to get out of here. He can keep doing this for a long time. In the meantime, across in the map, we do have 4 Lings, 1 Adept. They're going to get the heck out of the way because Adepts are power. And Overlord in a nice position over here, going to be able to scout pretty much everything that's going on. And it's time for Probe to put a little pressure on his Zerg opponent.
But with only 1 Adept, it's going to be a little bit of a dicey attack. Adept will pull back, but at the same time, Lings trying to get into Probe's base, but for now, this was not a gas opening, so TLO does not have speed. He's going to be putting any gas he gets into the Roach Warren coming up next, and it's going to be potentially a potent attack. He's going to be able to surmise a very large Roach force, and finally he leaves the extractor.
Man, scouting the
And then he's going to be able to scout the Stargate. That is
nicely
so smart,
done.
giving himself
Phenomenal.
a position to scout, and even tries to make the extractor again. He's like, okay, I'm going back home. It's like going to his hole, and he's going to come out every 10 years to get a nice scout.
Yep, that's right. That's the Groundhog drone. Very important. Will predict the year of Probe or not.
Yop.
Yop. We will find out soon. Yop, yop, all the way. And Lings coming across the map, but nothing too crazy. Just like a couple of Lings going on. Are those slow Lings? Are these slow?
No speed.
No speed. No, actually, no upgrades at all. There have been none amount of upgrades. That's the amount. None.
Once TLO started his first gas, he got the Roach Warren, and now Lair is on the way. It's a very interesting build so far out of him. He may be going Spire, and I do like that general idea. That's what we've seen out of all the Protosses, Zergs so far. And generally, as Zerg, you're getting Roach Warren, and you're just playing it safe, just to be safe. But see a couple Roaches coming out. It's going to be Phoenixes from Probe, and they're going to be able to hit only 1 Overlord in the top left-hand corner for him. But where does TLO go from here? I'm really curious. This is a unique build.
Yeah, that was his last bit of scouting, forward scouting that TLO had, so the map is kind of dark for him. Going to send out a couple of links to see what's going on. Scouts the third base timing, very important for TLO to be able to calculate, figure out what time is good to make an assault, or if it's time to just move in, take a 4th base, and take it to the late game.
Looks like it'll be Roach Hydra from TLO. The Hydraless Den is on the way, and Missile Attack +1. And we'll be able to push back these little pokes by Phoenixes too. We're not seeing incredibly heavy Phoenix aggression from Probe, but he is making Phoenixes for now. We'll see how far he moves into that. For now, though, TLO has 2 queens at his third, a queen in his main and a queen in his natural. He's overly prepped to defend all this, and he should be completely fine. Phoenixes do have to pull back, but it's really important that they get a little bit of a vision into the main to spot that Hydraless Den and the Lurker Den all the way off the back of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And for the time being, not a lot of scouting available. They've been zoned really hard. All this creep really helping TLO to figure out exactly where the Phoenixes are and what they're going to do, what their intentions are. They're going to be able to get in on this side. Stop for a second to smell the Overlords.
Denying any more vision, and I do like getting rid of those Overlords early on. Beautiful drops are possible, especially with a Lurker Den, and Lurker's out in the front. Even though Probe does not quite know about it, it's always really important. Once you identify its Lurkers, it is a little bit of a siege style. So if you can hit their back, make them slowly reposition, it's always a good choice. So with killing these Overlords near the main base, you can open up a lot of free space for workers and maneuver. When even gets up the queen from the main, that's gonna be...
Gotta watch out for that. Watch out for that Spore Crawler, though.
Oh, and then the queen, but it doesn't matter. 4 Adepts just making their way into that third base. There's just barely enough Roaches and Hydras, but there finally, TLO shows his hand to Probe.
Oh, there it is. He sees the Lurker Den, but it's a little bit on the late side. He's got a Robo. He's building an Immortal out of it now, but no Robotics Bay for the time being. So he's not going to have that Disruptor tech to deal with the Lurker. He's going to have to find another way.
Even if he didn't have Disruptor tech, we often do see double Robo into very heavy Immortal versus this Hydra Roach composition, but doesn't even quite have that. He likes Charge, and in PvP, we saw him do some unique Charge builds. Doesn't do some really unique builds overall, but we saw some unique Charge builds used in those matchups, and here's how they're going to come over to this one. Charge, of course, is a little bit better than it was in Heart of the Swarm. It's quite good in Legacy. The Void on Impact does an extra 8 damage.
6
Lurkers.
Lurkers.
With the Phoenixes, you can just pick the Lurkers up.
The Phoenix is very good as long as he can keep them alive and keep them safe from the Queens and the Hydralisks. He could be able to make something happen here, but this is going to be a difficult technical engagement for Probe.
TLO can get right up into the face of Probe. Looks like there are all the Lurkers burrowing up. 6 Lurkers in total, and there's not that many Roaches and Hydras to push the army back. However, the army of Probe cannot engage on top of it. It looks like the Phoenixes of Probe kind of pulled out of position, maybe looking to pick some up from the bottom left, but for now, Probe, he's fine. He's got pylons too. Even put an overcharging one just to stay safe.
Yep, and big move out over to the right side. This Probe of Probe really making it happen on the right side of the map. He knows exactly what's coming, where it's coming.
Beautiful.
This might have been a blind side otherwise, but nicely done. Gonna move in, get a couple of Lurkers picked up, take them out of the battle for a short amount of time. But this is such a good position for Lurkers to be fighting in. They're trying to pick up things, these Phoenix, but it's really all up to these Phoenix coming out and taking Lurkers out of the battle, which they're not able to do.
The force fields from the sentries actually deterred Probe from getting on top of the Lurkers. The Zealots weren't quite able to do it. You gotta remember, Probe right now, he has Charge. He does not like those force fields. He's taken out because of that, and the Lurkers are fighting by themselves, but Lurkers are so dang powerful. They're gonna be able to siege up at this third base position of Probe, and just take a quick note. It's almost the 9-minute mark. Probe's gotta start thinking, am I taking a 4th base from this? Am I going for a timing attack? What is my goal right here? But his entire army is gonna throw down into the ditch.
Doing some dances with the Immortals initially, but letting it go there. He's lost almost all of his power as far as units are concerned. He's got gateway units and a single Immortal.
And, I mean, 1 Disruptor coming out, but it's looking a little grim for Probe here, JaKaTaK.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a very tough scenario. Like you said, the 9-minute mark, that moment in time where the main starts mining out. Because he took the gold's going to mine out a little bit faster than the blue bases as well. So we're at half base over here, still not transferred. There we go. And big TLO force here. He's just got 2 Disruptors coming out now. And he really needs a more... he just needs a higher Disruptor count to deal with this Lurker mass.
90 army supply of TLO to the 59, almost 60 of Probe. He just does not have quite enough to deal with it here, but maybe he can take a great engagement. Zealots and charge lots are great, but not when there's a huge meat shield of roaches and lings on top of the lurkers. The roaches and lings push forward, don't even need to worry about the lurkers, or pardon me, Probe doesn't even fight on top of the lurkers. Lurkers going to come up forward, and really the roaches and hydras are finding themselves an excellent place to fall back onto. And yes, there's cannon, yes, there's the observers. But how many lurkers do we have in this force? In total, 5, 6 lurkers just before. So much DPS slaughters the army. And we have 1 disruptor shot.
Amazing splits from TLO over and over again. He's just getting like 1, maybe 2 units. GG, excellently played. 1, maybe 2 units with those disruptor shots there. Just phenomenal decision making in micro overall from TLO. And, of course, the hashtag creativity, which we've all come to know and love.
I feel like he's got to have a little hat that's a probe on. It's like Probe from Australia or whatever. He's a representative.
Yeah. It's like, there are many probes. This is my probe. There are many like it, but this is mine.
Representing Australia throughout the world. And once again, the TLO opens up with a very greedy build. It's not quite 3 hatch before pool. It's a natural pool and then a quick 3rd hatch. With that in, Probe opens up, I think, Nexus first. He does have the opportunity this game to punish TLO if he wants to, but it looks like Probe is just going to go with a quick 3rd Nexus himself.
Wow. Oh, man. Before 2 minutes, 3rd Nexus. I love this. This is one of those theoretical things that you talk about. Be like, oh yeah, you know, when Protoss goes Nexus first, Zerg goes 2 hatch before pool, and then they're ahead. And then someone's like, well, what if the Protoss just builds a Nexus right away? And everyone's like, no, that'll never work. But then Legacy of the Void comes out, and expanding fast becomes really important. You can actually get away with this because pylons are now a thing.
What I love what Probe's doing is it's not only a mind game from game 1 as in, okay, I think you're going to be greedy, but he threw out an early scout. And if you check the bottom left-hand corner, pardon me, bottom right-hand corner.
Whoa, check TLO's vision right now. Oh, just barely. Oh, my God. He was so ridiculously close to completely missing this Nexus. It's amazing. Literally a pixel. And that would have been a completely unscouted 3rd base. That was insane. Oh, man. But TLO does scout it, unfortunately, for our Aussie probe. But gonna get that mothership core out there and start to mess about. The double scout of lings. I love that TLO actually, he spreads out the 2 lings along the 2 movement paths of this map, so they cover more area.
Too, man. You can find everything. The pylon will not quite be up in time, however, it's only 2 lings, so the mothership core should be able to deal with it. 1 adept does move out across the map to get some more scouting info, but after Probe scouts early with his very first probe anyways, he's got to be feeling pretty confident in this position. 3v3, I know I have this slight lead. And TLO has identified, though, that Probe took that quick 3rd. Looks like he's going to drone up, and maybe he's going to prove, you know what, I'm a better mechanical player. Even though we're going to be in the situation, I can just simply out-macro you or out-micro you.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure with that drone. I've said probe so many times, and now I think all workers are probes. That drone out on the map was for maybe to take a quick 4th base. But otherwise, yeah, I'm just trying to figure out why it was there. Adept managed to deny it for the time being. And oh man, got some hashtag creative going on in the middle of the map. You build the hatch, you cancel it, and you got creep all the way in the middle of the map. He's going to be moving forward here, and oh man, I cannot wait to see what Dr. Dario has cooked up for this map.
Metabolic boost is being attained by TLO this time, and Roach 1 just covering all his bases. It doesn't look like he has lair at least yet, so maybe you can go into Spire. It's very common as Zergs at the moment, but man, with the creep just kind of leapfrogging forward. I love how the Adept scouts it too, and is like, what the crap? What's going on here?
What the creep is going on here?
Yeah, what the creep is going on? Exactly. Probe does have a lot of gates being made at the front and resonating glaives. He can sense something's not quite right, and we're just going to try to compensate with the APM, high Adepts per minute.
Yep, getting a high adept per minute is critical for Protoss victory, and whoa! Holy gateways, Batman! How are we looking for gateways?
City too.
That's
City, actually.
3 warp gates a gate, that's 4 plus 6 on the... Is that 10? I think we have 10 gates. That is quite a few of the gates. Warp Prism out as well. This is going to be crazy. You wanted to see some adepts per minute, you're about to see them.
Exactly. And also off the back of that, we do have a Forge. Probe will be able to get those early upgrades and maybe go 1-for-1 with TLO in the situation. Doesn't look like he's going to upgrade the Roaches once again, but does get a total of 10 Roaches. And
Oh
man,
man,
he
he had
has
more
got
gates.
a beautiful train track to
14.
move across the map and be incredibly aggressive.
14 gates and blink. Ooh. Very heavy blink. 14 gate blink
With 8
timing.
more Roaches, 6 more Ravagers on the way, and with this creep spread all the way at the doorstep of Probe, I fear the blink may not be quite in time yet. I guess you can just mass out Adepts, man.
Yeah, 6 minutes. We have a full creep highway to Probe's base, though. This is absolutely brutal. Look at this. All from that hashtag creativity. And dropping some adepts in, getting some worker kills, and more importantly, keeping TLO back until he can get these gates running and get blink done. He really needs blink to be able to properly engage this army. Should be doing okay with the relatively mobile adept stalker force, but that blink is really going to bring him into the next level. Ooh, nicely done with the force fields here. He's got to get out of the way and not just take these corrosive bile hits. I mean, he's just not, respecting them as far as their damage to him, but the rest of the Ravagers comes in. He's going to have to back off and rely on the pylons for defense. The Mothership Core is in position here.
Oh yeah, Mothership Core right there, ready to photon overcharge. The pylons will go down. Of course, our Zerg buddy TLO focusing them down with his corrosive bile. And it looks like Probe is defending, but now even have a Spore Crawler at the front, I guess, to get rid of that Observer. Looks like he's going to be able to take out the Observer in the end. That's going to be
Oh man, look at this harassment though. Getting adepts all over the place right now while this is all going on. Total workers killed 12 so far, and these adepts are just ripping things up. And just very difficult overall. All this army moves past and not even addressing these two adepts in this area, starting to target fire down workers, even killing a queen here. Excellently done. Total of 16 workers killed so far, and now Probe is out on the map starting to clean up creep with a supply advantage.
Probe also almost having double the income of TLO, at least mineral-wise. He's pushing across the map. He's got a beautiful position, and he is not going to waste the opportunity that those adepts gave him a little bit earlier on. Lurker Den is very close to being done for TLO, and it looks like he's going to be racing for that to be complete. I'd almost think Probe should just not even worry about the creep core and bypass it, but he's got to be so careful at this point with TLO has so much map control, or did have so much map control, that he does not want to give the opportunity for a surround or anything of the sort once he moves up the ramp.
Yeah, it's pretty tricky scenario. He's pretty deep on creep regardless. Killing all this creep may not have been the time. He might have sort of missed his moment there. Gave TLO a little bit too much time to rebuild and lost his lead. He does know that the Lurkers are coming. He's getting that second Robo and Robotics Bay out as well. The Warp Prism kind of floating around looking for damage but not finding any. And after cleaning up all that creep, it looks like Probe is going to go retreat just a little bit here.
By the way, we do have Resonating Glaives and Blink for Probe at the moment. It's one of those things where maybe not so much in PvZ, but again, for Protoss, I love the ability in more of a stylistic choice of which upgrades am I getting first, how do I want to approach this, whether it be Charge, Resonating Glaives, or Blink. We even have Charge on the way. Probe realizes he lost his window of opportunity and falls back onto his bases while Liquid TLO secures a fourth hatch. And it's a pretty late fourth hatch than normal, but then again, both sides have been pretty aggressive in this. They've been fighting back and forth, but now Liquid TLO, he's kind of got, other than, I guess, Ultras, the pretty much dream composition and exactly what he's looking for. He's got all the tools to make something happen. Probe is just going to rely on the heavy APM, man. They use adept per minutes.
Yeah, Probe was having some trouble last game dealing with the Lurkers. He's got a bit more of a lead on it this time around. He'll have more time to prepare. And also, he's got a strong economic advantage over here. Sending out a bunch of adepts. His base is first. Nice. Holy adepts per minute. Batman coming in over to the side. He's got adepts over here. He could even focus down some Lurkers if he wanted to. Look at that. Getting a Lurker kill. And trying to move in and
waves
kill.
From Lurkers will clean this up, and the adepts from the main base are going to shade down for the majority of them into that third base.
Oh my God!
To clean them up, but now in the natural, we have also adept being pulled against the drones, and 44 workers have go down so far. And when
44
was
workers,
across
that's
map,
insane.
was up
Oh
in
my
workers
God!
at 68%. probes to 37 drones. At this point right now, Probe almost has double the income. And
oh, big hit on 3 Ravagers. Excellently done.
Another beautiful. Oh, TLO's got to be careful.
Yeah, TLO's got great splits here.
So badly.
Very careful here. Focusing down, trying to get those Lurkers. You need 2 to kill him. Nicely done. Takes out 2 there, but he's got to try and get these disruptors into safety. After that happens, he's having a bit of trouble. They're getting focused down by Ravagers over here. Nice force fields, corrosive biles lifting through the air, but it looks like Probe has got it. GG!
It up 1-1.
Our final map, this best of 3, super epic best of 3, is going to be Ruins of Saros. Excellent. Oh, yes! Epicness abound, but you never know when Probe is just going to whip out the build and crush you into pieces. But before that, we need to introduce our players. Ladies and gentlemen, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, we've got the red Zerg, Liquid TLO!
And his opponent in the top right-hand corner, it is the blue Protoss player. It is Probe from, I believe, Echo.
That's right, Echo Esports.
Yeah, Probe moves out with the very early scout. Something we saw from Probe, I think, in the very first game. He likes the scout, but Ruins of Saros, of course, biggest map, cross spawns even bigger. And I wonder, is Probe... he wouldn't be doing the build on this map. I think that's a PvP build. We've seen some crazy builds from Probe.
Oh, yeah. I mean... Wait a minute. Was that... Is Liquid TLO...
TLO's in what? TLO 14, 13, 12?
Oh, yeah. This is very unexpected. On this map... Probe is going to scout him second, so he'll not have too much time. Might not even run into these lings. He might just barely miss him here.
Oh.
He's got a wall set up. He's going to have a superior worker count on one base. Oh, man, if you can see these lings, it's going to be huge.
All he needs
He's trying to get out of the way. Oh, he sees the lings. He knows exactly what to do. He's going back. Probe moving into position right now. He's considering, do I keep this base alive, or do I just sort of move on over here? He's going to scout that expansion coming down, and more lings continuing to stream out of Liquid TLO's base. Oh my god, he's building a drone this early? Interesting.
Maybe? Yeah, I guess
interesting. Mothership core is going to be pretty big in holding this.
Won't be completely committing into this attack. He could make even more lings, but Metabolic Boost only 10-15 seconds away from finishing. We have
that Zealot needs to go back.
Oh, he's got to be super, super careful.
That
Metabolic
Zealot needs
so
to
close to being done. The lings could easily just sidestep it and move into the main, but for now, TLO's trying to get the damage onto the Nexus. He knows
Mothership core on the way here.
Oh, and there's a
this pylon's going to be important.
Dance and
nicely done. Very nicely done. Going to get this pylon on the outside. But as the Adept Sentry begins to come out, it's going to be a lot easier hold. Make sure you're in the right position there, just barely. Very well done. Going to defend with this pylon, and that's it for pylon overcharges for a little while now.
Not for a second, though. He's actually, interesting enough,
back up to 25 energy now.
About 1 second. Took him about 5-6 seconds overall to get another photon overcharge ready. TLO falls back from that, and then he just takes a quick third hatch. He likes his economy games, that he's not going to pretend that he doesn't enjoy that. And it's a really interesting move opening up with that build. He hasn't done that much damage. Probe has been ahead in workers for this game.
He sacrificed a lot of economy for that, and it did not pay off.
Baneling Nest is next, and I think TLO realizes this. He may either be going the hashtag creative, but I think it's more down the avenue of, oh dear, I need to get back into this game. I need to go for something crazy. Well, it's going to be a Stargate for Probe. Probe, he's held. He's come out a little bit ahead.
Ling's coming out here. He's got a Baneling Nest as well. He might try to bust through here. He's in a very... Liquid TLO is in a very rough scenario behind economically as much as he is. Probe, likewise, though, is going to have a tough time holding this as he's teching up to the Stargate. An Oracle could help here quite a bit, but until that time, he's got to have some overcharges. Where is this Mothership core?
Of course, coming to that natural base. Already the Adept has been killed, and the Zealot is so close to dying. There is the Photon Overcharge, and we have 2 more Photon Overcharges ready. Yet there's more lings.
TLO just keep
streaming
making.
in, and
He just
there
keeps
is
making
the
links.
Banelings. He's just using that 3rd base for Larva, and looks like he's going to push into this. What do we have? We have 2 pylons and double assimilator moving on. Probe has
Drone?
no idea that any of this is happening.
I think that was a bit of a mistake. He's
Oh,
gonna
he's the
scout over
under-
here.
he wanted to
Oh, Baneling's coming in. Will he notice it? Will he react in time? He does pull back, and he's getting out of there immediately. Pylon overcharges going down, but he's got enough lings here to be able to take them out quite quickly. The pylon's doing lots of damage, but he needs more pylons.
I would have preferred a Oracle out of Probe Stargate instead of the 2 Phoenixes. You can use the Pulsar Beam or Stasis Wards against this Ling pressure, but there's not that many Lings coming out for TLO off the back of this. Yes, there's 8 Lings, but they won't reinforce for quite some time. You can see 2 more Photon Overcharges, but it's just going to be slightly too late to save the majority of the pylons at that natural base. Overall, we've seen 7 workers be killed. But Probe is holding. Probe is holding well.
It was a really important reaction there. Those 2 Banelings could have brought TLO back to economic parity, but he wasn't able to. The reaction was too good. Pulled back, mineral walked through over there. Very nicely done. But TLO is not letting up. He's moved up to 35 drone, and he's going to be aggressive again.
There's still a big disparity worker-wise for Probe. He's got a lead, and hopefully he'll be able to take a 3rd to really be able to use those extra workers that he's going to be accruing for now. But for now, he's got 3 Adepts, 2 Sentries. He's going to be able to hold at his natural base, but he doesn't have the pylons. He's lost a lot of his infrastructure, and he's massing Phoenixes. He's going to try to be aggressive across the map, but that's a little bit of a gutsy build, JaKaTaK. He's going to be scared at home.
Yeah, 3 Spore Crawlers coming in, and meanwhile, TLO starts research on Burrow.
Like, do we have any Roach Ward from him? It looks like we don't have any Roach Ward yet. We have Baneling to keep pressuring on, and the Phoenix are fighting right on top of the Spore. They really just don't care. Finishing off the Overlord. And if you look in the top right, 56 out of 82, TLO is fine. Overlord-wise, he can lose a decent amount, and he'll still have a lot of room. And the 3rd base is tried to attain by Probe, but looks
nice delay.
For a second, yeah.
Kills the Probe there.
I mean, if he can delay for, 30 more seconds, he potentially could just burrow a Probe, or burrow a Ling.
Yeah, I think that's the ideal scenario that he might have been looking for. Not going to be able to do so, but Phoenix is still hanging out. Does lose 1, getting some damage done here. Overall, only 2 workers killed for Protoss, though, so he's got a little whiles to go.
Little whiles to go, definitely. Roachworn is on the way for TLO. That is his next choice. He's starting to transition out of this, and he's still been. Now he's ahead in workers just by a little bit. He's actually got a beautiful influx of economy, about a 1/3 or more than Probe has. So he will have that for a while. It's going to be able to provide him a lot of lings to work on stuff. Looks like he's transitioned to the Roachworn. It's still Probe. Get an early lead, and I don't think he's done enough damage to TLO. TLO has got itself from a position where he did very little damage into one where he's just kind of slowly chipping away at Probe.
Yep, and Probe is now moving in. He won his game off the backs of Adepts last time with some very good shading and positioning. Will he be able to do it this time? Adepts coming in over here, not too much defense other than Lings, and when you have that critical mass of Adepts, Lings can't do very much at all. They're going to be moving in. Ooh, cancels the shade. It's going to go ahead and stay over here, snipe down this Spine Crawler, and try to get hopefully a little bit better positions against these Zerglings. Going to shade out here.
Phoenix is on top of this, easily can take away the Roach reinforcements that are trying to help at the space, and eventually it is cleaned up. Adepts get to the natural base, but overall, 8 workers killed to 8 workers killed. It's been a funny game where neither side has killed a lot of workers, but both have, at least for TLO's really hit the infrastructure of Probe multiple times, and Probe has just kind of had a slight lead, so in all, it's evened out in the end.
If we take a step back here, we can see that Probe and TLO have similar economies, though Probe's is stronger, and we have a 3-base Protoss against a 3-base Zerg, which should favor Probe overall. That Lurker Den is coming up quite quickly, though, and we don't have any Robotics Bay on the way. The double Robo has already started, which should be pretty helpful.
For a decent time, TLO in that mid-game did have a worker lead against Probes. He was able to attain that, but now with the Phoenixes and very little to contest them, Probe is having a great day. He's able to pick up some of these roaches if he wants to, even do some more economic damage. Nice burrowed Ling. And so saying TLO The very beginning attack didn't work out too well, but he's really moved on into the mid game with the entire mentality of, I just need to deny his economy. If I can do that, I'll be okay. He's been doing a great job of that. Denying the
starvation
economy,
play.
killing workers.
Yeah, the starvation play so much stronger in Legacy of the Void than in any era of Starcraft 2 due to those bases mining out so much faster. Probe going to come over here, start adding on gateways and use them in a wall, so nice Sim City overall. He's going to need to, yeah, there he goes. He's moving around with this observer. He realizes burrow is a thing that he has to deal with. You can see his probe over here. Probably wanted to get that expansion down a lot sooner, but is not going to be able to. A Protoss taking their 4th before the Zerg. What's that all about?
I mean, TLO's been trying to deny it for a while, but with these Phoenixes in the air, it's been very hard to take his own 4th base. Passage Glands, though, is on the way. Maybe we'll see a beautiful fungal growth. These Phoenixes are taking fights right on top of the Queens, Hydras, and Spores, but because of that, they've been able to pick them up and really weighing the numbers down. They're going to try to get more beautiful burrow by TLO to save them. They'll send Passage Glands out up next for TLO. Just finishing. I guess he plans on trying to fungal growth these Phoenixes, but these Phoenixes, funnily enough, there hasn't been actually that much economic damage, but both of them have been stunting the growth of the infrastructure back and forth and kind of been an awkward slap fight.
Yeah, TLO getting really defensive over here. Yeah, and Probe moving out. And I think that while he can potentially do a lot of damage here, he's the one on 4 base. If he can just defend this 4th base and prevent TLO from moving out of this heavily entrenched defensive position, he's going to be fine. I don't think he needs to attack here.
TLO is even getting 3 spines there, building a couple spines off the back of that, total of 4 spines in all, and he's very well
equipped. God.
He's got infestors ready for the fungals. The army of Probe is moving into lurker shots. Thankfully, the army of Probe is vertical, not horizontal, so they're not moving into a lurker shot that goes through every single one of them. It looks like Probe moves in, scouts it, and pulls back. Probe does, though, have the economic lead, even though it's gone back and forth, just base-wise. If you look at it, Probe is 4-3. He's in a nice position. And TLO, as you said, very sieged up, very hard to bust him. TLO, though, on the other hand, it's also hard for TLO to get out.
Well, most of TLO's defense is here at this 3rd base. And this Adept is going to be able to go past a lot of it. Looks like he's going to go into the main, which is the least defended area. Ooh. Sharking around. We got a couple of infestors. They're going to be looking for a moment to pop up and fungal these units right over here, the Phoenix.
And here the Zealots moving in. I remind you guys, it is currently 1-1
oh my God,
between Probe and TLO, and here's a huge Zealot warping. These Zealots do not have charge, however, they do have +2 attack, and they're going to be able to decimate Probes, do whatever they wish. And those Hydras, everything's
evacuated.
We have 2, 3, 4 lurkers in that 3rd base, lots of spines, and it's going to be so well defended. But still, everything's evac, and there's not going to be mining time. Mining time lost, and TLO is taking up 4th at the 12-minute mark, while Probe took his at the 9-minute.
Yeah, this is pretty huge.
Economic lead.
TLO should be able to, with excellent positioning, hold this 4th base. And the fact that I don't believe it's been scouted yet by Probe is pretty significant. He's going to be coming around. He's got a lot. Look at all this vision that he has. He's got units. He's got the watchtowers. He's got patrolling action going on all over the place. But he doesn't know about this 4th base. He might be able to assume it at this point. But, I mean, what are we looking at for late game tech right now? He's been sticking on this unit composition for a long time. He is getting speed for, that's not warp prisms. It's that's speed for observers, which is pretty cool. And Dark Shrine as well. Another Stargate. Going to get into that late game. And he starts to move in. He knows that this 4th base is available. He's going to try to do something. He lifts up a couple of the lurkers, but is it enough? He should be able to focus down this base and get out of here, but he's going to try and take a bit of a fight.
Nice fungals, get a couple of the mortals in the top part of the army, but he manages to snipe the 4th base. Barely a Viper gets out.
In the meantime, going to have some Adepts in the main as well. Excellently done. There's not too much here to fight, but just it's a nice idea. You're going with the direct and the indirect all at one time here. And shading over here, looking for some damage. Could shade into the natural, but for the time being, I guess they're going to take this fight over here. And then we have some... oh my God, attacks from every angle. We have attacks coming over here with the Zealots. They do get defended quite easily, but just all over the place, and TLO is starving.
TLO in within a minute or two will only be on one base in all. The disruptor shot moves out. Is within a minute or two. He's only going to be on one base income, and that is a very well defended.
Oh, he's got to keep these
TLO
disruptors
can stop
alive.
Probe from winning, but I'm not sure if TLO can beat Probe in the situation. And Probe has got to
Another
be
big
so
warp in
confident right now. It is 1-1, and he's so close to being able to win. Finally charges there. Nice pull from the Viper on to that Warp Prism to get it in the range of the Spore. May even be able to finish cleaning up. TLO knows just if I can get that Warp Prism to stop attacking, maybe I can hold it down, but it's 1-1, and whoever wins this game, I believe, moves on. No,
That's right. Whoever wins this game moves on to the next round.
Actually, not even the group stage 3. They moved on to the bracket.
That's
of
right.
The main tournament. Probe is not giving up, and same thing for TLO, though. He is on his home turf. He's in Germany. He will not give up either, but it's starting to look a
Oh,
little
man, this is looking
bad for him.
amazing for Probe right now. TLO, one of the big favorites, a big name in esports. This is a big deal. Him taking this moment to have a victory against a very strong Starcraft player in his home turf. He's getting surrounded right now. The Neuroparasite was quite strong, but in the end, I don't think it's enough. TLO is falling apart, and that's it. GG! Probe is victorious.